everyone who is watching us here on this extra snowy Holidays Under the Peaks live stream here from the Tennessee Aquarium. As you can see, we are getting our homemade ice, or homemade snowdrifts rather, ready for our otters to enjoy as part of their daily enrichment. This is something special. We don't do this every day, but it is something that we do on occasion for our otters because it is something that they would naturally encounter out in the wild. And we like to make sure that every day is different for them. So if you have any questions, we will shortly be joined by one of our senior animal care specialists, Jennifer Lara, who is currently on exhibit putting the snow out. But as soon as she gets out, I'm sure she'll be more than happy to answer all your questions about enrichment, about otters, and just about what it's like to work at the aquarium. So make sure that you're putting those questions down there in the comments. We will pass them on to her as they come in. And just so you know, it was no exaggeration to say that this snow was made here in-house. We actually have a grinder that we use to create this snow. It took about an hour. And it was very, very cold. I did help with this process. All right, so that may be all the snow that's going to go out for the moment, which means that we should be letting the otters out momentarily. And once they do get out, you're going to see that they react very enthusiastically to the presence of snow in the exhibit. I don't expect it to stay in nice, neat, pretty drifts for very long, so don't get too attached to those drifts. They will be disappearing post-haste as soon as the otters get out on exhibit. And it looks like the otters are now out, and you're going to see them start to explore the snowdrifts. As you saw earlier, our animal care specialist did put some food enrichment in there as well, so that is to encourage them to explore and investigate this new presence in their exhibit. And it looks like they've already found some of that food. So we should be joined here shortly by Jennifer Lara, and as soon as she gets here, if you'll type those questions that you have about what's going on down in the comments, I'll pass them on to her. Karen, I had the exact same thought. They are otter pops. Jason, thank you for joining us from North Carolina. I'm assuming that's North Carolina. I suppose it could be Northern California. Kim Kirkwood, yes, they are in fact very cute. Karen, if that's a joke, I'm assuming that you've got an answer for us. So how many snowmen, or how many otters does it take to build a snowman? So Gretchen, you asked how many otters do we have at the aquarium? We have 6. And these are their names. In case there's a delay in the live stream, if you're not able to, if you're not actually seeing what I'm trying to tell you, their names are Delmar, Maya, Benedict, Hunter, Digger, and Louie. And here are some of our heroic aquarium staff who put out the snow.
If you have any otter questions, let me know.
Ah, and here we have Jennifer Warrer as promised. Jennifer,
Hi.
why are we doing this?
We are doing this to give our otters something fun to do. So, of course, it's getting chilly outside. We want to give these guys an opportunity to have snow. So this is some shaved ice, which Casey was so nice to prepare for us with one of our other experts, Shannon. So we got all this ice, all this snow today, and it's just going to let them kind of do something different, like play in the snow.
Just like every day we want to. I mean, you wouldn't want to do the same thing day after day, so enrichment kind of serves the same purpose for the animals.
Yeah, it gives them something different to do, stay engaged in the habitat, stay engaged with us as keepers, stay engaged with the other otters, keeps them mentally, physically challenged. There's snow on the bottom, there's snow on the top, so they're running up and down, they're getting some exercise, and again, just having some good old otter fun.
All right, now how long do you expect this snow will last on exhibit? We spent about an hour and a half making it, so how long will it last?
You know, it'll probably last a couple of hours because it's pretty cold today, and our temperature here in the Cove Forest is ambient, so it's very similar to the outside temperature. So hopefully a couple of hours. Now, once Benny comes out, this is Hunter, Digger, and Louie. Once Benny comes out, there's no telling. He loves to put stuff in the water.
So I noticed that we were putting not just snow out, but there was stuff in the snow. So can you talk a little bit about why we did that?
Yes, so in theory, I was actually going to have a couple more otters joining us, but one of them decided he did not want to, and so I had put out a little bit of food to hopefully just kind of get everybody their own pile, and so that they wouldn't, you know, be any fighting like around the dinner table. Everyone gets something exciting, no one gets left out. But he stayed in the back. That would have been Delmar, but he's having himself a little nap in the back right now. So this is Louie in the water right here in front of us.
Now there's something you just said that is probably pretty important for us. It actually reflects the philosophy we have here at the aquarium. You said that someone didn't want to come out on exhibit. So talk a little bit about why choice matters when it comes to how we treat our animals.
Yeah, so all of our animals have complete choice and control over their situation here at the aquarium. So they get to decide if they want to come out into the habitat, if they want to interact with us, and if they want to do training. So they always get that option to say no, and today Delmar said no. And that is totally okay, that's completely up to him. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let these guys have it for a little while. I'm gonna send Delmar and Benny out in a minute so that they get to play with the snow a little bit as well. And then Maya will be out in a little bit for her snow time as well.
So Maya, our only female otter, is gonna have her own solo snow experience.
She is, yeah. And so that's because we are amping up for breeding season. So right now we're doing what we call a little bit of a seasonal separation. We're trying to do that absence makes the heart grow fonder. So we're hoping that giving her a little bit of alone time is going to make her a little bit more interested in some of our males once their breeding season really gets kicked in.
So how long is breeding season?
So it's going to be January, February, a little bit of March usually, but we start in December with some of the seasonal separation, and then she may cycle even through April, so it's a little bit of time.
Helen Rogers asked, and I can answer this actually, she asked, where is this aquarium? We are located in Chattanooga, Tennessee, just north of the border with Georgia. So if you've never been here, we are in the extreme southeast corner of Tennessee. Right on the borderline, and really not too far from Alabama. And actually, it would not be impossible for you to see river otters pretty much right outside our door. We're right on the banks of the Tennessee River, and there are river otters in the Tennessee River. Can you talk a little bit about their range?
Yeah, we've actually been called for otters here in the Tennessee River to respond to them and just know that they're out there. So really, you know, their range was just about everywhere throughout the U.S., and then it kind of got a little bit shrank down, and now it's kind of emerging again. So you're going to see them here in the southeast, you'll see them out in California, you'll see them all over.
And river otters are a great conservation story. We like to celebrate any moment of good conservation success. So talk a little bit about that what we're seeing now would not necessarily have been the case just a few decades ago.
Yeah, correct. So not that long ago, like 60s, 70s, we were on the brink of extinction for these animals. And so some people stepped in and decided, hey, we need to keep these here in Tennessee. So the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency and some other folks stepped in. We got a small population brought in from Louisiana, and they've now boomed. So they're back here in Tennessee. We're very thankful for that.
Awesome. Yeah, we like those conservation success stories. You know, it's not one of the ones that is maybe as widely known as something like the California condor or the giant panda has been pulled off the endangered species list. But close to home, there are definitely times where, through concerted, prolonged effort, usually it's kind of a marathon, it's not a sprint, but through marathon effort, you can, in fact, bring an animal that's in danger back into something closer to a stable situation.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why we want people to be encouraged to find these guys in their own backyard and care about nature and connect with nature and form those relationships with animals or with your, you know, local Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency. Let them know if you see anything out in nature that needs help.
Now, in nature, what role would otters play? Are they apex predators? Are they prey items? Are they somewhere in between?
You know, they're kind of somewhere in between, but kind of leaning towards that apex, you know, prey item. We're getting a lot of play going on right now.
It is distracting.
So they're distracting.
Somewhere between apex predator and prey.
Yeah, they're a little bit in between. But they're pretty to the top of their food chain. They kind of go after slower moving food and fish species. They love crawfish. Our guys love trout. They're getting some really good play going on. Snow is very exciting. Oh, into the water it goes.
So as you're, you are very heavily involved in their care, obviously. And when you do something like this, when you have an enrichment item or activity that you have planned and executed, what do you like to see? What to you is a sign that enrichment has been or is successful?
Well, this right here. So much playing, they're being so active with each other, they're rubbing on the snow, so they've taken that choice again to play with the snow, to rub their coats on it, to scent mark it. They look through a little bit of it to get those couple bits of carrots and fish. So they're interacting with that item, they're interacting with the environment, they're interacting with each other. So that's pretty successful right there. We always look at natural behaviors and what we want, and play is a great one. Swim is another really important one for otters. And again, not finding food, that foraging behavior is something that they will naturally do. So just looking to bring out everything that is otter, which is what we're seeing right here.
And so we use that word a lot. It's not just in reference to the otters. I think we've actually used it in reference to things like our lemurs and our penguins. You use the word play. Is what they're doing play like we would describe what human children do?
Yeah, so this is play for a river otter. So these guys are interacting with each other, they're swimming, they're kind of pushing each other over. Just like when your kids might, chase each other through the house. And then, yeah, playing up on the snow is very similar. I mean, I don't know that I would play this hard on the snow. I'd probably make a snow angel, but, there we go. Maybe we're going to make a snow angel now. We're laying on it.
Now you say that, now you might wonder, are they not cold? But there's a good reason why they're probably actually pretty comfortable.
Yeah, they actually already have a down jacket installed. So they have 2 layers to their fur. So there's a downy underlayer and then there's guard hairs surrounding the whole body. So they have a very, very thick weatherproof coating. And right now our guys are just a little bit on the chubby side as we go into winter. So they've gained their winter weight to keep themselves just nice and extra toasty.
Looking at these comments that have come in, sorry if I have been neglectful, but Kim Kirkwood, it's distracting.
It's so distracting.
It's very distracting. Kim Kirkwood says, put more treats in the snow for Miss Maya.
Oh yes, I definitely will. Though even if she had come out with the boys, she's always the boss. She always gets what she wants.
So would otters be matriarchal like lemurs in the wild, or is that unusual for her to be top of the heap here?
I don't have a super lot of experience with the females. So really, these guys are solitary animals. They're gonna come together for breeding season. So oftentimes if you see a group in the wild, you're gonna see a group of males. And then you're gonna see females generally by themselves. maybe with pups from the previous year. So having a female that interacts with all of our males day in and day out is definitely very different. And you know, we can just tell that she's in charge here at River Otter Falls.
They certainly look like they're having a good time.
I think they are. Sure seems like it.
Honestly, if you were to release a group of 5 to 10-year-olds out into a snowbank, a snowdrift, there would probably be some very similar activity going on. They're just like watching kids.
Oh yeah. No snowball fights, but we got some good sledding going on, sliding around.
So that does beg the question then, how old are our otters? What's the age range?
Yeah, so we've got a pretty big range. Maya and Benny are gonna be our youngest. They're gonna be turning 7 in February. And then our oldest is gonna be Delmar. Now Delmar is gonna have a sweet 16th birthday in February as well. And then the group you're looking at right now is Hunter, Digger, and Louie. Now these 3 guys were all saved from Louisiana. So that means they were all brought in from the wild. And so we don't actually have an exact age for them. We kind of guessed when they came in, and we were thinking that they were about 4 to 6 years old. And that's been quite a few years now. So we're guessing they're more in about the 12 to 15-year-old range at this point. But they could be older as well. So average lifespan for these guys is gonna be, you know, around 20 years. In human professional care like it is here. It's about 12 years out in the wild. But up into their 20s is pretty good for a river otter. So we're a little middle-aged at this point, except for Maya and Benny.
Now, have you noticed a change in their behavior or their demeanor as they've aged? Have they gotten crankier or less playful?
I think Louie's gotten crankier. So that's the male that's on the bottomless left here. That's Louie. And so yeah, you know, I would say he maybe has gotten a little bit crankier, but he's always been a little cranky. Normally it's with Maya. Overall, you know, they're aging kind of like us. Some days they'll move a little bit slower, but you're not really seeing a whole lot. They still all go up and down the habitat without problems. They climb, they swim. So we've not seen anything huge pop up yet.
Well, speaking of the habitat here, this if you've not been to the aquarium in say 6 or 7 years, it may look a little different to you because we actually pretty dramatically redid this entire exhibit not too long ago, and that was in response to some new evidence or scientific studies that came out that revealed that river otters actually spend more time on land than we previously thought, because this exhibit used to have a little bit more emphasis on water.
Yes, it had a huge emphasis on water and deep water, and we've kind of found that, you know, they're going to do a lot better in kind of narrow streams, riverbeds. They really like to go in the water and play and swim, but they really like to hang out along the river's edge. So that's kind of what we've done here. We're along this river's edge. And then they've got the spot up at the top they can go that's just completely all dry land. And then we've got some things like pine straw, we've got wheat straw, we've got mulch that we'll use throughout the habitat and in the backup area, so that they still get to play on some of those kind of natural substrates, as we call them.
Let me make sure that I'm not missing any questions here.
Okay.
I feel like people are probably kind of like us. They're probably just as hypnotized and enthralled by just watching these guys literally live up to the group name for an otter, which is a romp.
Yes.
They are very much living up to that name at the moment.
Someone's digging over there.
That's true. There are more snowdrifts than the ones that I've showed so far.
There's one over here that we're actively digging.
So who do we have in the other snowdrift?
You know, with the digging behavior, I'm going to say it's Digger, but it could be Hunter. Let's see if we see his face pop up. Oh, okay, yep, that was Hunter. So Digger got his name because he, of course, loves to dig. But that was Hunter having the ball over in his own snowdrift.
So Jennifer, as you see behavior like this, how does it make you feel?
Oh, just so happy and excited that, you know, I was kind of joking, like, go be a real otter, go out and have fun and go play. And so they are, you know, living the dream right now, I think. They seem very happy. They've got some good chase behavior going on through the pools. Good swimming. Now, if only we could get a little bit of snow. I would like that. I'll take some snow outside. I don't know if anyone else agrees with me, but...
Here in Chattanooga?
Yeah!
Well,
I want to play in some snow.
time will tell you.
I don't want otters to be the only ones who get to play in snow. I'm sure it'd be a welcome for a lot of families who might be just stuck indoors to have something fun to do outside, even in the cold time. Cold weather.
These guys are such a riot, honestly.
Like they're having a little bit of fun. Whoop.
All right, well, we are actually, weirdly, about to run out of battery on the camera. How unprofessional of us. But we have given you more than 23 minutes, it looks like, according to the timer, of adorable otter snow time and snow play. So hopefully that has made your afternoon and your holiday season just that little bit better. And we'll go ahead and end the live stream here because it's going to force itself to here as soon as the battery dies. But thank you so much for joining us, and we will have scuba claws here at the aquarium on Friday at 9 a.m. Make sure you check out the Facebook page here at the aquarium for when that goes live, and bring your questions for us, R.E. Santa, and what it's like for him to go underwater. And we will see you next time. Thank you so much for joining us here for this special Holidays Under the Peaks themed snow day with the otters, as they romp and romp and romp, and we'll probably continue to romp long after the camera goes off. Thank you so much. We will see you.